In this video, I'm going to be looking at how I designed and coded this up, where I'm looking at doing some storytelling with CSS, because I think there's a lot of possibilities for storytelling with CSS now, and a lot of really cool things we can do with it, unexpected things, and most of this is being done with position sticky. Pretty much all of it, actually. So you can take a look in this video how I coded all this up. Modern CSS has really opened up the types of stuff we can do to storytell on a website instead of just presenting information as is. So yeah, stick around and see how I coded all of this up. Okay, so you can see here in my CSS I've already set up some colors. I might be changing these, but I thought that made like a nice little gradient choice of colors. I have some dark ones. I have an orange, which sort of ish my brandish color, not quite, but close enough. So we're going to stick with those. I'm going to sort of speed through here a little bit with my... So basically I want to be doing some storytelling. So my class names here are not going to be great. I'm not focused so much on that. I'm just trying to think, like, I'm going to be making groups of stuff. You're going to see it's going to be kind of weird, I think, some of the things I'm going to do here. But we can have an introduction. And I think in here we're going to have 3 paragraphs. Or I know I'm going to have 3 paragraphs. And I'm going to give each one of these a class, just so I don't have to get stuck doing like first of, second of type selectors too much. And what should we call them? I'll just call it intro 1. And I know these are, again, not the best class names, but it's going to make my life a little bit easier for now. So we're going to start off with just a hello there. And then we can come, my name is Kevin. So when I save, there we go. Hello there, my name is Kevin. Let's jump right into here. I think one thing, I want to run like a gradient in the background because we're going to be scrolling for a long time when all is said and done. So let's set that up. Background linear gradient on here. We'll just run it from, I guess, color 1 to, whoops, not like that, var color 1 all the way through to var just color 2. I want it to be a pretty subtle shift, but this is where I might play around with that a little bit. Obviously it's not working now, but once I have all my content, this weird gradient will go away, and we'll get rid of that really soon, actually. You know what, let's get rid of it now because it's bothering me. So I don't really need this, but I'm going to give this a min height of 100 VH just to make that a little nicer looking. Yeah, I think that's all we need. I'm going to boost the font size up, I think, for this whole section. So, font size, we can go with like I don't know, is 5 going to be good? 5 looks pretty good. I want it to be nice and large, so that looks nice and large to me. I'm also going to do a margin. I don't have a reset or anything on here, so I'm just going to do my margin 0 to get rid of that. The margin on there, because we're going to want that to be gone later on. And because I like, you know, I think I'm going to do an intro. So my dot intro here that I just created. So that's these 3 lines of text. I'm also actually, you know what? I'm going to do P is a margin of 0 as well. We might change that a little bit, but I just think it's going to make my life a little bit easier to manage. So my intro here, what we're going to do, let's do a display grid. And then what we can do, my grid is going to be, let's do the shorthand because I like the shorthand. I'm getting used to it now. Hello, hello. And we're going to give this a really high, like 75 VH. And so that's going to just be for that. Then I want my name is, so I'm going to have 2 columns here. One column called hello, another column called hello, just so it has room to stretch across the whole way. And then here, let's give this a my name is Kevin. So I wouldn't actually name, whoops, I don't want that to end there. So yeah, hello, hello, then my name is Kevin. So really bad grid names, but in this case they're going to work. And I'm going to give this a massive, and then repeat to 1FR. So I have 2 columns, 1FR each, and this is assigning their grid name. So actually, let's save that. It's going to maybe not change anything for some reason. Dot intro, that's what I called it, right? Yeah, okay, good. Let's go take a look then. I should be able to get into here, and I should see my grid. Dot intro. So it's a little hard to see the colors. Let's change this to like white so we can sort of see it a bit more. Did I make a mistake here? This looks like it should be working. One second. Let me just do 1FR, 1FR. Why was that not working when I did my repeat? Well, maybe you can't use the repeat when you use the shorthand? I don't know. So there you go. I can't see my names. We can't use white. Let's go maybe to black then. So I have my hello, and then here my name is Kevin. So that's the name of my areas on there. So cool. So we're going to turn that off because it's ugly. And we can start... we're going to probably come back to there, but we had my intro 1. The grid area will be hello. Intro 2. Grid area is my name is. And last but not least, intro 3. Grid area is Kevin. So that should set up everything. So there we go. Hello is stretching the whole way across. My name is right there. And we get Kevin sitting right there. Perfection. You can see now already this is stretching out, so that gradient is already a little bit nicer now. So what do I want to be doing with each one of these? I want to move this so it's not quite on the top like that. So maybe I'm going to center that. So here I'm going to do align self center. So it should move down to the middle of this space, so that's good. I'm also going to give this one this whole thing's going to be using lots of position stickies. So position sticky, and we'll do a top of like 1em so it doesn't actually glue. I won't do 0 just so it doesn't stick right at the top. So I'm going to save that, and there we go. So we scroll a little bit, it sticks almost right away. Maybe we'll make that like 0.5. We're using a 0.5em. We're using a large font size, so an M is pretty big. If you're wondering how I'm doing the live refresh here, I am using Gulp for that, and it is set up for Sass and all that, because you can see I'm in an SCSS file. I'll probably use a little bit of Sass here and there, but try and avoid it. There we go. So that sticks right there. Now what I want is, we can close this for now. So, and then it sticks. Cool. Not sure about the colors. I'm going to come on my whole body actually, and let's set this color is var color 5 as the default, so it's my darkest one. Ooh, I don't like that. That's that one, eh? Okay, never mind. Let's go back. This is where I use Sass. We're going to use an RGBA of black and like 0.7. So if you're using just regular CSS, you can't do that, but we have some Sass powers. There we go. So I want to keep sort of the orangey color coming through. I think that looks a little bit nicer. So hello, my name is, and that sort of scrolls off into the distance, but that's stuck in place. But now what are we going to do? We're going to grab all of these, right? I think I'm going to keep that just like that for now. So let's come down to this one. I'm going to change the font weight on this one can be 900. I'm going to do a font style too of italic, because I like this. I'm using basic sans. I like the italic style, which I don't usually like for sans serifs, but it works pretty well. I'm actually going to shrink my fonts. Normally I'm doing this more for, I'm not worrying about like responsiveness, but I do want it to, we're going to say, there we go, perfect. Okay, cool. So my name is Kevin. I think I'm going to leave this one right where it is, because that looks good, but I'm going to make Kevin disappear off a little bit. So this one's going to go to my align self end. So that should disappear off, and it's going to be way down at the bottom of that, because I had that massive viewport, 150 viewport, so it's like hiding all the way down there. So that, hello there, my name is, and I'm wondering if I should push that down even more so I don't see it right away, but I'll leave it like this for the moment. Come back here and we can do a position sticky on this one too. Position sticky. I just don't know where I'm going to stick it. I just want to see here. Let's say I do 2M. Because I had that one at 0.5M. So let's just see what happens here. That's going to stick. And then that should stick? No? That one doesn't want to stick. It wants to scroll off. Why does it want to scroll off? I know why it wants to scroll off. I'm going to give this a background of white. And it wants to scroll off because look how big it is. Because I'm using grid, and by grid, it's like flex, so it's stretching the whole thing. So I'm also going to do an align self start. There we go. So now it doesn't have a lot of height, so it can actually stick in place. Oh, look at that. That's nice. It worked out perfectly. So I don't need that background on there anymore. So we start up here. Hello. And then you see, I'm going to move that off, actually. Let's do an align self center, just so it's not on the screen right away. Hello there. Oh, that's too far. Maybe. Is that too far? Hello there. My name is... And then Kevin. And Kevin's going to come and stick. So on my intro, I might have to change this, but we're also going to add a big margin bottom on this, just so I can keep scrolling for now. So we'll do like a margin bottom, I don't know, whatever, 50 VH just for the moment. So I can keep scrolling. We'll make that 150 for the moment. So I'm actually going to change this one maybe to be a little smaller. So hello there. There, that's better. So as soon as that sticks, we go a little bit more, you can see the name comes in. Now I'm doing it for this exact screen size, so it's not going to be perfect, but hello there. My name is Kevin. And then we want Kevin to stick right there. And not... Oh. That's kind of cool. I didn't even have to use position sticky. And then it sort of collects everything all together. That's kind of interesting. I was sort of hoping that whole thing would move off. What if I did the same thing here? Oh, I have an align self end. Oh, that's why, because it's already at the bottom, so I don't really need a position sticky on that one. I wonder, I know I'm using grid for this, but I'm wondering if I could get this to move off. What if I just added a margin bottom on this? Margin bottom 2M. Well, that's kind of weird. 1.5. And this might screw up when I change screen sizes too. Oh, there we go. So yeah, that might screw up when I change screen sizes just because the VHs are all changing, so everything might not be lining up exactly where it is. I'm also going to change this actually to like a 2, and that means this one's going to be what, 3.5? Could be wrong. Yeah, there we go. Just so it's a little bit further down from the top of the screen. You know what, Kevin's really small. I'm going to go back up on the bigger font size here. Let's at least go to 4. But I think what we'll do is do a 2. Just, that's too much though. What if I did a, is it max content? Ah, that worked. Okay. So it's going to match like this, because I think if I did min content, it would try and make it, if we change that to min, just to see, whoops, not main, min. Yeah, so if it's a min content, it's going to be like the size of the word name here, because it's going to be as small as it can. Whereas a max content, I believe, is going to try and keep it all on one line. So hello there. My name is Kevin. I'm just going to add a little grid gap of 1M is going to be way too big. I don't know, 15 pixels. There we go. Looks good enough. And I guess I should probably take you and put you here too. Again, I'm not doing like optimizing my CSS on this by any means. So hello there. My name is Kevin. Perfect. And that's going to scroll off, and then we can get to the next part of my story. So let's go back to here. So story part number 1 is done. Let's move on to story part number 2. So let's do a little bit of about me. So we can do an about me. Well, first, What should we do? We're going to call this one class equals CSS, because I think CSS is the best. And then in my about me here, let's add in a class of YouTube. And I guess that can have a paragraph. I like it so much. Actually, I have this off screen. I might as well just copy it. I like it so much that I make videos about it on YouTube. I'm purposely putting this in. I know browser sync is connected. Okay, good. So I think CSS is the best. I like it so much that I make videos about it on YouTube. I put this in another div because I want to include some images with this. I'm going to do like a 2-column thing for this, whereas this can just stretch the whole way across the top. And I think because I want 2 columns, let's add in dot thumbnails. And I have image times 6, I think. Save. Let's go and check that out and see what it looks like. Oh, they're way too big. Again, I'm not optimizing right now. We're just going to throw in all of those, and we can tackle that when we're doing our CSS to get them the right size for now. Okay, so one problem is the font size for what I want is way too big. So maybe I shouldn't have put it on my body. Did I put it on my body, my big font size? Let's take this off of here and put that on my intro, because it's only my intro that needs that massive font size. And maybe my font size here, font size, I can still need a bit bigger, let's say like 24. That's good enough. Cool, good. We might as well do our, the typical image max width 100%. That first one, the colors fit well. See some similarities with, that's a lot of me. Okay, so I'm gonna reduce that massive margin bottom I had here right away. And because I want to be able to get to that faster. So when my name is Kevin, and pretty soon after, I want this line, but I think like right in the middle. So that was .css. Let's just do a text align center on that. And let's just add a big margin bottom on it. Margin bottom of like 50 VH again. The color of it is fine. So there. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm using VHs just because I'm assuming that it's actually going to work at like all screen sizes. But I haven't tested this at all. So I think CSS. So right there, the name hits, scroll a little bit, and then right away we're getting to that next little line. That's going to go by. And then we're going to run into this one, which I think I can make this a little bit bigger too. We'll go with a 60 on this one as well. Just so we sort of get that all by itself at one point. There we go. I think CSS is the best. And then as it's getting off the screen a little bit, something else grabs our attention. And we're going to use some more position sticky for this one. And we're going to do some fun things with this, I think. I want to take a little bit of what I did with that last video, where I had like a little surprise text that can pop out the bottom. But yeah, I think we'll try and do it with a gradient on top, because I think that'd be cool. So we have our .YouTube here. So YouTube, let's give it a width so it's not stuck to the side. Width of like 80%, margin 0 auto, display grid. My grid, what's my grid gonna be? We'll just call it, we'll do an easy one, text, thumbnails. The row is just 1FR. And over 1FR, 1FR. Super. There we go. I'm wondering, because that's images, no, I can't do a min content. Actually, that works out really well for the image sizes. And I think if it were on a bigger screen, let's just see actually. Yeah, it would sort of just grow with it. So that sort of works. Cool. I made the screen bigger. I know I did horizontal, but let's just see. Hello there. My name is Kevin. It's still working. Okay. Again, I didn't change the height of it, so it doesn't surprise me that it's still working, but it's kind of ugly that each one of these has like a different color. So I think my YouTube here, I'm also going to give this a background of black. Oh no, I don't want that on my there. Let's do that on my thumbnails. We can add a background of RGBA. We'll do, or I can do current color. And we just add a bit of padding. Padding of 0.5 m. 0.3. I'm just trying to match this close enough. There we go. So all of that sort of grouped into like a big thing like that. So what I want is that's going to scroll by. So I'm actually, yeah, a bit more margins going on here, I think. Right? Would that make sense? Margin, top. We're going with a lot of 60 VHs, so we'll stick with, whoops, not VHL, VH. We'll stick with that big margin top. I think, yeah, that'd be pretty good. And then this one, did I give that a class? No, we'll be lazy on this one. I'll just do my YouTube P. So this is, again, this is Sass. You can't nest with CSS. You'd have to do like YouTube space P. That's what it's going to get compiled down to. So here, let's do a sticky top. And I know it's not Sass. I keep saying Sass. It's a CSS, but I hate the word same difference. But for nesting and stuff, it sort of is. Top. I guess I didn't. I'm going to do grid area. I don't really need to, but since it's working, but we might. I set up a grid area, so we might as well use it. Grid area thumbnails. I don't know why grid areas, when you put them, need that parentheses, but then they don't here. Okay, so that's good. Where's it going to stick to? It's going to stick to the top. I did sticky top. What is sticky top? This is position sticky. And top will be 10 VH. I want it to stick like somewhat close to the top. Let's see what happens. Stick, because we need to do a align self start like we ran into before. Stick. There we go. Stick. I'm going to make that a bit bigger. 20. I want it to be a little lower down. Maybe 30 even. So it goes, I think CS is the best. I like it so much that I make videos about it. You can see the videos come in, but then they stick. That sticks as the videos go by. We also need a gap on that. Grid gap 1M. Yeah, that's good. So then this can scroll by. That's gonna all shoot by. Cool. I'm probably going to take this off, but let's just add a margin bottom of 100 VH again, just so I can see like here what it's going to really look like as perfect. So that goes like that, but then it catches there and it scrolls off. But I want to add, as I said, a little like hidden message. Oh, I put this as current color, which is a bit transparent. We might have to change that. Because we're going to have text hiding behind there. So we're going to put another paragraph. And I really enjoy making them. My text, I wrote this ahead of time and it's terrible. But anyway, class surprise. I really enjoy making them. That looks good. So what we're going to do for that one, you know what? I was going to have it stick off. Maybe this is going to work actually. Maybe this will work. So I wanted to do it with a gradient, but I just realized like the gradient's not going to work because here I have a gradient background. So I know it's really subtle, but I can't really pick a single color because the color's shifting all the time. But I could leave this space here, but we don't see the text right away. So let's right away change the color of this so we can actually see it. Color can be white. Oh no. Can I keep all of that white? Is it weird? No, I don't want all of it white. Just this one will be white. What did I call it again? Surprise? There we go. Okay, so that works better for me. We will have to get to a lighter color, I think, soon, because the background is getting darker. But anyway, I really enjoy making them. So this is going to be the trickiest part of everything, I think. So my font size is okay. We can leave the font size around there. So let's just give this a position first. Position sticky. But instead of sticking to the top, we want it to stick to the bottom like we saw last time. Let's just do like a 10. I was going to do VH, but I think a pixel value is going to be easier to play with. So let's just do 100 pixels and see what happens here. And the reason, see how here it's like staying there. So it's 100 pixels away from the bottom of the screen. And then when it gets to there, it's going to click in. So poop. But then all we need to do on that is give it a Z index. -1. There we go. Oh, but now it's behind the background too, which I don't want. Except no, I don't want it to go. Sorry, I don't need this right now. Take that off. Because I want it to be like a gradient. Actually, I'm gonna do margin top of, say, 5em. Is that too big? Why did it make so much on the bottom? Oh, right. There we go. Too much. 2. We'll go with 3. A little bit more. Okay. So it's going to be a bit weird, I guess, because we're going to have a big space, but it's sort of going to be, the whole point of this is the reveal. I think we're going to do a font weight of 900 on this guy, too. Cool. So it's going to sort of appear out, but I want it to fade in. So to fade in, I'm trying to think if on surprise itself, no. I need to put a pseudo element, but the pseudo element is going to go on my thumbnails. So I'm going to do an and after. Again, not CSS, this is Sass, so this is the same as like thumbnail after, like that. So thumbnail after, I want content, because we have a pseudo element, we need to give it some content, and we'll give it a position absolute. For this, I'm going to start just by giving it a background of red, which will change after. Red's not the best right now. Blue, green, something we can see easily. And top 0, bottom 0, right 0, left 0. And then I'm going to start thinking about it. I don't see anything. Why not? Where is it? Oh, whoops. Position relative. There we go. There it is. Okay. Perfect. So we have my big green box. So the Z index on U, Z. Actually, I need this to be, so we're going to give this a Z index of 2, and I'm also going to add on here my images. We're going to have a Z index of 3, because they need to be on top. So first it's my images, which also then need a position on them for this to work. Position relative. There we go. So they're on top of my green box. Then I have my green box, and then I have my text underneath. But where this is going to happen is instead of a regular background, what I'm going to do is let's do a background that's linear gradient. And I'm going to break this onto a second line just to make it easier for you guys to see, because it's going to be a bit long. So I'm just going to do green to, we'll do like 80%, comma, transparent, just to give you an idea. I'm going to have to modify this a bit. Oh, I have prettier on, so it sort of fixed that for me. So you see here, it's going to be like, so let's pump this up actually like 90. So it's this, I have this like gradient. So you see how it's going to reveal that text into there? Cool, right? So we're going to do that. Now instead of green, this will be at current color. So it's the same color as the rest of the background. See, my current color is not going to work because it had a alpha value to it. So it actually sort of, so you can see the box has like a gradient here at the bottom. I mean, it's not terrible, but well, you can see the text right away too. So instead of current color, I'm going to make background's just going to be like, I don't have a dark color like that too. Do I? I did black. Okay, let's just see what happens. Let's just try one of my color, whoops, var color 5. Let's just see what it looks like. And same thing here, copy, paste. It's not great, but there we go. You can see how it's fading that in. That's kind of cool. 90 is too much. So this is the fun part, is like, where do I go? I'm wondering if I can do a calc instead though, because I don't, well, it's, so if I did calc of 100%, so I'm telling the gradient go all the way to here, but then minus 2.5 m, minus 3m, minus 5m. This is the joy of magic numbers. So I guess it's going to be a 6. That's not really working. Okay, last one I'm going to try a 7. I just want to make it so like, see, I want it to be hidden here, so this is actually going to have to go to like a 6. 5. I want to make sure it's hidden. There we go. It's hidden and then it comes in just like that. The only problem now is it's going to transparent. So what it is from here, or let's see where the gradient's starting. So the gradient starts like right here. So from here to here, it's doing like an even transition. But what I could say is transparent's at like 90% now. 95. Something like that. So it just, by the time we get all the way to the bottom, it's fully visible. So the transparent is here. So it's going to be from here to the bottom, we have transparent. So we go, it sort of fades into my box. I think we could do something a little bit better with that, but I sort of like that idea. And it was actually a commenter on my previous video, and sorry I don't have your name offhand because I didn't think of it until now, but yeah, it gave me the idea for being able to fade something in. At first I was thinking you could just do it with like you had a position sticky on something and then like a class for opacity or something that JavaScript could trigger. But it's kind of fun to be able to do something like this, even if it's a little bit strange with having to layer your content and all that. I do think it's a fun little effect. So I like making videos so much that I make videos about it on YouTube, and then we have all of that, and then I should have just taken, like, this isn't about CSS, but anyway, that fades in and that whole goes off. Cool. Now this last one, let's come back. We're almost done. So I have lots of closing divs. About me is here. We'll do this one called, not the end, I guess, because we're not right there, a bit more. So this one's a fun one for me. I guess I tried this effect out on like a little example and it worked well, so I'm hoping I can get it to go now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I don't have much to do here. I just have a paragraph that I've already written. Let's change this over to slope though. So let's see what this says, because we can't see it all at once. There it is. I also really like to ski, as does my 7-year-old. It's nice to be able to spend time with him out on the slope. My little 4-year-old guy is also starting to ski, but he doesn't like it as much yet. A couple runs and he's done, whereas this guy, he can't get off the hill. He is in love, and the season just finished. Such a shame. So this one, we're going to be using some more pseudo elements to really get it to work, but I still think it's fun. I think that's all we need for the markup. We might have to come back to add something, but what did I call it? A little more? I forget what I called it already. I just wrote it a bit more. A bit more. So background, we'll have, I'm going to do image because I guess we can just do a background. Background is URL, image, skiing. And we'll do a background size of cover on there. And let's just see what we have. So picture's starting to come in. So I need some padding on this. Let's just do a padding 2M. So we can start seeing it a little bit. Want more on the top? I want a bit more. The sides are okay. Yeah, whatever. We'll leave it like that. And I'm just going to give this one like a really big height. So we can, we can't even, there he is. I'm in the picture too, but we can't see me. That's cool. Don't need to see me. We just, okay, so there's the text at the top. But what I'm thinking is, let's make that font size a little bigger too, right? Font size is like, I don't know, we'll go back. Too big, too. Okay. So what I want, first of all, I can't read this super well. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in a pseudo element. We'll do it before, I guess, because we need both of them for this to work. And so once again, my content will be nothing, position, I can never spell position, right? Absolute. When I write it in CSS, I just never do it. Top 0, bottom 0, right 0. Left 0. And we want it to be behind, so z index can be -1. That also means up here, I'm just going to give this a position relative before I forget. And let's give this a background of red for now, just so we just see if it's working. Of course, it is not. Is it behind my picture? Hey, there's my hand. Take this off for a second. Oh, it did go behind the picture. Because that was a background image, I didn't think it would go behind the picture. Okay, actually, yeah, we don't want the negative z index on there then, do we? I'm going to take that off. I don't know why I was putting that on there. We want to keep it on top. Okay, so then my background red, but we're going to do like before. Let's use my linear gradient. What I want to do for this one, my color at the bottom here is going to be pretty close to color var color 2. If I save that, is it going to work? No. Color 2, comma. Oh, it helps if you spell linear properly. Can I do a gradient with one color? Ah, see, there is a difference here. Okay, we're just going to do like a color 5 then. We're just going to go with a completely different color. When we get to this bottom section, like bang, there's a different color. What about 4? Just because I haven't used it. That's pretty too. We're going to make this smaller. Yes. Surprise, but that was up here, right? Thumbnails, this could be like 50. So I really like making them. I really enjoy making them, and then yeah, that makes sense. And right away we come into there. I think what I'm going to do, let's go back to here now. This I'm going to give a z index of 1, just so I actually have something on there, and then my p position relative z index of 2. And color, I guess, can be white on that one. Make it a bit easier to read. But as you can guess, I'm not going to go from this purple color into red. What we're going to do is actually just lead this into transparent. But this is going to go to like 25% maybe. Just, that's too much, 20. This 300 VH on here might be way too big too. But what this is, I want to try and do like a parallax effect. So it's going to come like that, but then this can do a position sticky top. Should, yeah, positions top. What's my padding? There's 2M. I think if my sticky ends up being there, it's going to look like the box. So as soon as that clicks, because the stickiness is the same as my padding size, what it does is it looks like the box actually just stops there. And then what's happening is instead of the box moving, it looks like the image is moving. In reality, the box is still sliding off. But it looks like the image is sliding in through. So I think that's really fun. So already I think that's a really cool effect. I love that. It's sort of like a fake parallax effect. So fun. But I think we can add to it. And actually, I was going to do another pseudo element, but don't need to. I'm going to do transparent until whatever. And then we're going to go to, it's going to fade off into white. Now, is that going to go too fast? Or is that going to be okay? So I want it to, so we get there. I like to ski. It's nice to spend time with them on the slope. It goes into the image. It's sort of parallaxing by. And then the text is going to fade off into white. And I think this whole thing's too tall. This 300, I'm going to drop it down to like a 250. And again, I'm doing it for this exact size. Maybe I should be using like pixel values instead, but maybe it's going to suck when we look at it on a different device, but that's okay. Even 200 might work. The really important thing at the top is that we get like, it's super easy to read it before it goes onto the background, because as soon as that hits the background, it's going to get harder and harder to read. And then what we're going to do, we're going to add in one more thing right here at the end. We'll call it the end. And we'll write the end in there. And what we can do for that one, because we transitioned into white, if I do the end as a background white, let's do a text align center padding of like 25 VH, so that's top and bottom. Yes. And 0 on the left and right. I'm just trying to think. Let's just do 25 VH and 0. Color should be okay. Margin should be fine. Let's see what that looks like. So then it's going to like fade that into white. I could do two things. We could move this white a bit more. We'll do it at like 75, or not quite. We'll do it at like 90%. And I'm going to do two things. Let's bring this font size up. Font size of like 5 rem. We can make that pretty big. And I'm going to add in a bit more. Let's do 50 VH here on the bottom. See, actually, see how I'm clicking? So like I can see my text as it slides up. I want it to look like the text just flows into that white. It's not super noticeable. Maybe if I make this a bit bigger, would that make a difference? 225. I'm not sure if that's going to change a thing. I think it's just, yeah, okay. That wouldn't change anything. I need to change this to be at like 85 instead. So then we get to there, that goes, sticks, the image starts sort of parallaxing by, fake parallax, and then the text fades off into nothing, and we get our the end. Cool. So I really hope you like that. I really enjoyed making it. It's a lot of fun. It's cool. The position sticky you can do some really cool things with. So I sort of like that one. I could probably fix that a little bit, but I'm going to stick with this for now because I am going to put the link to it in the code pen below if you just want to see how I did it. But overall, I'm really happy with how it looks. I think it's a lot of fun. Just this whole storytelling with CSS. You can see as I'm doing this, it's sort of like as you do that, you're already looking at the pictures, but then that text is going to grab your eye a little bit as it fades in. Unexpected things that you can do. Same thing here where all of a sudden it like doesn't parallax and then sort of starts parallaxing. I think it's so fun that you can do that. and it's relatively easy to do. So that clicks in, we can go down, text fades off. I don't know. I think it's really cool that we can start doing these types of things just with CSS and a little bit of position sticky. And it's one of those things where, you know, the feeling of it wouldn't work on necessarily if this wasn't, you know, someone who's on Internet Explorer and they didn't have the stickiness, but they'd still get the message and they'd still get the story. It just wouldn't have the same impact. But I think that's cool and that's fine. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this. I am going to be looking at your submissions. The deadline was today, but if they're a little bit late, if this gave you some inspiration for your own thing, if you can get it in really, really soon, I'll probably still see it, as I'll be recording it in the next couple of days where I look at it. I'm going to be featuring anything you guys do. I've already got some really, really fun and cool submissions, so I look forward to seeing what else you guys get around to or submit in the next couple of days if you have any time to do so. So thank you so much for watching. I really had fun with this, so I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed all of these. I hope you enjoyed this and the previous one where I looked at sticky in a little bit more detail instead of just playing around with it. And a big thank you to my patrons for helping support everything I do here. A big thank you to Lauren, who's my supporter of Awesome over on YouTube. It's amazing how generous your contribution is, so thank you very much for that. Thank you once again for watching, and until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.